So this is Cadet Fairbrass and Cadet Hoffman's Career Planning and Retirement Option Decision Tool 1-2, continuing on from 1-1. So the purpose here is to create a model that gathers all the relevant data that we identified and performs some foundational calculations for us that we need to accurately estimate the value of a soldier's career. We'll get into estimating the total financial value of an Army career in deliverable 1-3. But some of the things that this model does is collect just the initial data and then gives us some of those calculations. So some of the variables we'll be looking at are the current rank, expected rank or retirement, years in service, where you've lived, your zip code now and at retirement, some of your special pay, COLA and whatnot, your dependent status, and then we'll go into a GI Bill briefly, and then down here is where we start getting into retirement purposes for deliverable 1-3. So based on these inputs, it's going to come out here with some specifics about your Army career, including like current monthly pay now and then at retirement, and then BAH now and at retirement, contribution matches for calculating retirement, that's for 1-3. And based on these, we're going to calculate the cumulative net present cash flow, and then net present value of educational benefits from your GI Bill when you use it. Okay, so starting off here, we'll just choose a rank. So we'll go with, you can see these drop-down menus, start off with an O2, so first lieutenant, and then expected rank or retirement. Let's say you get out at 5 years as an O3, a captain. So years in service, now, say as an O2 we have about 3 years, total years of service and intern retirement. We'll go with over 4 but not more than 6. Current zip code, we'll just say we're stationed here at West Point, and then you're going to enter your most likely zip code between now and retirement. This is just a small town in Georgia, so just enter that since it's kind of an average, 3 bases down there and whatnot. I haven't entered any special pay or COLA. We'll say we're staying in the United States, just a leg, no special pay there. Dependent status, I have dependents. Estimated tax bracket, put that in. Percentage of salary allotted to TSP, we'll drop that down to 4%, but this is more deliverable 1-3, but to make it realistic for a captain getting out. GI Bill eligibility, we are eligible for the GI Bill, and then where we're going to use that zip code for GI purposes. So we'll do that same town. So you retire and then you'll go to college in that town. And then we'll leave these because these will not impact the GI Bill, or we're not looking at retirement yet. And the discount rate, this is like your inflation rate for calculating net present value. We'll say it at about 2%. So going through here, so now we have current monthly pay. You can see how this changes. If you watch right here as I change this to say an E5, see how those change. We'll drop that back down to 01, or 02 it was. So these values change. So what it is these cells here are referencing down, if you'll follow the mouse here, the military pay chart. So when you type that in, it's going to reference your current rank, and then go over and find your years of service using an index function to find your pay. Same thing with monthly pay at ETS. That's just referencing your expected rank and retirement, and then total years of service at that point. So that's referencing that same table down here. Moving into the net present value of the military pay, that's where things get a little more complicated. Actually, hold on, I'll go into a BAH lookup calculations. So looking at BAH, this is a little more complicated. It takes your initial zip code here with a military identifier for it, and then that comes over to reference your rank again and your column number, because you need all of this information, specifically here and the column and rank numbers, to go and reference BAH table with dependents and without. So again, that's going to come from what you select here, with dependents or single without. So say you have dependents, so you'll go to BAH lookup. With dependents, you'll come down to a 1, that's with dependents. So come to this table, find your military identifier code, scrolling up here, and then your rank across the top. So just a quick VLOOKUP function there to get your BAH. And same exact thing with end-term service. So then your net present value of your cash flow, so the money you accumulate over your military career. So that comes down. This is just an index function to reference it. That comes down to this chart here, net present value, military pay. So what we're getting into here is over the years how much your pay increases. For the purposes of this model, it was too complicated to analyze and predict where you'll be promoted within your career, because even if you just stayed in 01 for 5 years, your pay increases each year that you're in, as well as it changes by rank. So because it's kind of difficult to model as essentially a piecewise function changing almost every year, what my group elected to do was to linearize it from your current pay now at year 1 to whenever your end term is, so say 18 years, what it is. So we just linearize it with a pay increment between those two ranks. So that's what you can see calculated here. Just a simple slope formula. And exact same thing with BAH. Take your current BAH now, and then when you retire, and it's going to gradually increase as you go up in rank. Now there is some variance assumed there because it will depend on where you live. So as a captain living in, say, Russia, you may end up making more than you do as a major living in, say, Fort Polk. But that's just some variability that we have assumed in our model. Taxes, that's coming from your tax bracket, calculating your net income, and then we have the discount rate formulated here. So then to get the present value, this is cycling through, adding the previous payment in, plus the present value times the discount rate of that future payment that you're expecting to get, and that increases as you go over your career. And then what this program does is it takes your net present value of your cash flow at the year, just a quick reference, using an index function similar to a VLOOKUP here to find your the number of years you've been in. So say 21. There's your value. All right, now so for the net present value of the educational benefits, which is the last thing that we were supposed to do for deliverable 1-2, what we have is your GI Bill, where you expect to use it, and then your rank and BAH dependent status, all that comes into play. So we'll just go to the chart here. So GI Bill calculations. So here it takes your zip code, where you expect to go to school. We set it at 31061, which is Georgia. This tells you, this references a school that is in that area that is eligible for the GI Bill. Designates it here as public or private. So what this tells you is your BAH per month in that region, in-state tuition. GI Bill bases tuition off in-state values. So this is tuition per semester, and then book money per semester. So what we did over here is we changed it to be kind of an annual sum. So what we have is the values then changed. So this is the VLOOKUP to get the values of the location. You've got your BAH tuition and your book money based on the school there. That gives you this value here. Now that takes them, converts them into annual fees. So BAH times 12, tuition times 2 semesters, and books times 2 semesters a year. You get your total annual GI Bill. Multiplied by 4, do it in 4 years on average, and then taken back to the present value to get the total value, net present value of your educational benefits. So to lead into 1-3 now, what we have here set up, ready to go, is your civilian information. So this chart will be expanded as we work on that deliverable to represent similar to the military information, years and whatnot. And then we have actually already calculated the net present value of old retirement for military and net present value for new retirement plan for the military. And we will get into how we set those up next in deliverable 1-3. See them.